Hi everyone, my name is Shaked Baltas, Sports Guy Show, and ladies and gentlemen, I thought this is a good time, folks, for Madden 2027 wish list for what we should have for Madden 2027 for the upcoming game. And ladies and gentlemen, I like to play franchise mode, offline franchise mode. And as part of playing offline franchise mode, I want to have some stuff that is taking place in the game that I truly believe, ladies and gentlemen, will make the game much better. And the first thing that I'm talking about in franchise mode, when you are signing a player or when you are trading for a player, ladies and gentlemen, right now, unless you reorder the depth chart, you have to basically go manually and do it, because if not, guess what? You might have your starting kicker starting at quarterback, which if you sign a starting quarterback, the starting kicker should not be the starting quarterback, but that is how the game is. You sign a running back, you might have your punter starting for him, unless you reorder the depth chart. So that is number one. I want the depth chart to be automatically update, so you won't need to do it yourself, because you have so many other stuff in franchise mode that you need to take care of. Number two, ladies and gentlemen, for franchise, this applied for offline but also online. Let's have real coaching staff. I mean, we have real coaching staff in college football 2026. So let's have real coaching staff in Madden 2027, because I can tell you, folks, as someone who's been doing a lot of rebuild on Madden 2026, I typically don't mess with the coaching situation, because I don't have real coaching staff. I don't have real coaching staff to deal with. So it would be fantastic. You have real coaching staff that you want to fire your head coach, you can hire from a pool of real coaches. Not some fake coaches, but real actual coaches. Which bring me to number three regarding coaching staff. Let me have the ability to build my actual staff. Head coach, of course, the head coach is in the game, but let's have assistant head coaches. Let's have that at the very minimum. Of course, we are not going to have general managers and all of that, but let's have real assistant coaches, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special team, and then at the end of the season, you can go ahead, if you want, replace your current staff with new coaches, and so on. That is a big thing that I want to see in Madden 2027. Real staff. So you want to fire your coach at the end of after 5 games because your team is winless? You can do that. You have the ability to hire a coach from the pool of available candidates. So you can hire your defensive coordinator as a temporary head coach for the rest of the season, or offensive coordinator. Let's make the game as real as possible. As far as coaching situation, that is something I really want to see implemented in Madden 2027. Now, another wish list that I have for Madden 2027, as you can see, there is a penalty. There is a penalty right now on the offense. In real life, in the NFL, and I understand this is a video game, but this should implement. In real life, we have offsetting penalties. We have penalty against the offense, defense. Let's have that in Madden 2027. Let's have offsetting penalties. Instead of one penalty against the offense or defense, let's have offsetting penalties. If they occur, of course. Offense and defense. Let's also have, like we have in the NFL right now, where replay assistant is reviewing like the spot of the penalties. The spot of the ball, pardon me. Not the penalty, but the spot of the ball. Let's have that in Madden 2027. Replay assistant will review the spot of the ball, so you don't need to waste a challenge on it. An additional, folks, for franchise, I want to have franchise tag. Franchise tag, we have it in the game, but here's the deal. Here's the deal, folks. A franchise player in the NFL can go into free agent. A team can make an offer. You get 2 first-round pick. If you sign him to an offer sheet and the team rejected it, let's have that in Madden 2027. Let's have that in Madden 2027. So we can, the game, I think overall Madden 2026, I got to be honest with you all folks, it's a better game than Madden 2025. I really believe that. But now it's time to take it to the next level. Time to take Madden 2027 to the next level. Let's have real assistant coaches. That you fire your coach mid-season, like we saw in the Giants. They fire Brian Dabble. So they hire a different coach. But in Madden 2026, he was still the head coach the rest of the season. The same with the Titans, Brian Cunningham. The Titans fire him after a couple of games. But guess what? In Madden 2026, he was still the coach. So let's have the ability for coaching situation to change it right away. That is something that will make the game fantastic. Now, of course, injury situation, concussion, player suffering concussion and all of that. I understand they don't want to bring it to the game. That is totally fine. But here's something I do want to have in the game. We already have the announcing crew. Let's have, if possible, number one, a weekly show. A weekly show previewing all of the big games coming up. Previewing your game. In the game against your opponent, looking at the standing. Maybe interviewing like a coach or a player, a key player or a key coach, like they do in real life. Like in the NFL, every Monday the head coach speak, and every Wednesday the starting quarterback speak, and the head coach speak. Let's have that in the game. Let's have some sort of a preview of a big game coming up. Like a halftime show, pre-game show. Like we already have the halftime show. Let's have a pre-game show that we can talk about the big game that is going to take place this week. Playoff implications, standing, draft position, so on. All of the important stuff. Let's have it in Madden 2027. And then, I don't know if it's possible, but I think it would be great if we have a sideline reporter. The sideline reporter can ask the coach like a few questions before the start of the game. At halftime, different coach will get to be asked questions. So let's have that implemented in the game. Because I understand this is a video game, but the more EA can make it as real of a game as possible, all of us fans will appreciate. So folks, if you have other ideas for Madden 2027, how to make the game great, suggestion. What is your suggestion? Comment how to make the game better for Madden 2027 wishlist. Leave it in the comment below. I'm sure the folks at EA would love to hear your feedback and suggestion how to make Madden 2027 the best video NFL game possible.